Everyone, and welcome back to Lobel Sparks Friendly Fire. One of these hasn't been up in a while. Had like the first series of them last year, and a few more of them are going to be happening again in the coming weeks and months and so on. Basically, where somebody just comes on and talks about a specific subject, either that's going to be from an expert in that subject or from somebody with lived experience talking about it. So today I'm here to talk about mindfulness, something that I do have lived experience but also have written and created courses on. If you don't know who I am, I'm Up for the Challenge. I work a lot in the mental health space. I am the chair of Up for Mental Health. It's a UK-based mental health charity looking at creating your own therapy. I've also written a course to help people actually be practitioners in mindfulness. I am a qualified mindfulness instructor myself, and I am just finishing off the last bits of a book on mindfulness as well, kind of how to deal with mindfulness in the digital age and dealing with things like that. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, on kind of both sides of understanding it maybe a little bit more than some, although by no means would I consider myself an expert, but also having lived experience in mindfulness as well. And I think the biggest thing that we get wrong about mindfulness is also something that a lot of people get wrong about meditation and various other things as well. And that is this kind of LA wellness approach to mindfulness. This idea that we all have to be meditating and doing yoga and going in the corner, which really isn't one. That's just not mindfulness. That isn't. It's kind of been hijacked for the uses of a lot of profitable businesses, but also it's just not helpful for a lot of people. Now, that's not to say that forms of meditation and yoga can't be used as part of a continued mindfulness practice for people, but in its own little dome there and done just for the sake of it, it really doesn't help. So the main thing to think about with mindfulness is being able to take stock and look at the present moment without judgment. So with this, when I say without judgment, it's to understand what you're doing, what you're going through right now, what is happening, why it's happening, what the isolated thing is right now, the truth of your current present moment, but not to then go, oh my God, I'm doing this wrong. This is going to cause this. And why have I done this? And attack yourself, because that's something that so many of us do. But when we look at it in terms of mindfulness, we can actually take stock of it. We can understand what is happening. We have some kindness for ourselves so that we can actually move forward from that moment. Now, it may just be that actually having a time for mindfulness and some mindful reflection on what is happening is merely a continuation of having self-love for ourselves because we are happy with, or we are continuing with an action that we actually enjoy and agree with. But it may be we're trying to take stock because we feel that something's gone wrong in that day, and it's understanding where, how, and how to continue. These kind of things can help us in so many different ways. They can help us with our emotional intelligence because it allows us to take stock of what is happening and why we may react in a certain way to something to try and stop us from having that reaction. We won't just have a split, right, that's made us react that way to a specific area, and actually take more stock of everything that's happening. It can also help us in terms of leadership. When we're dealing with other people, again, we don't have a snap reaction to anything, and we can also understand as to a person's interaction with us and our interaction back with them. Mindfulness is far beyond the simple ideal of going and just being in this kind of quite flowery understanding of how we all used to deal with it. Mindfulness, when you take stock of it, is actually just a very simple and very straightforward tool for each of us to deal with everyday life. And that's something I think is really important to understand. Now, you can use meditation, you can use yoga, you can use the things that people have done so in the past, but it's how you're using that. For instance, if you're using meditation to take stock of it, maybe you just need a time, a space away from other things so that you can understand what's happening. So meditation may be very helpful for you in the same way yoga can be for people as well. But it's important that you recognize that meditation, when you're completely separating yourself off, isn't mindfulness by itself. It is part of a practice to help your mindfulness. And it may be that in that meditation, in that yoga, you can quiet your mind, you can give yourself a snippet of then being able to understand your present moment and sitting in it and understanding it and relating to it without that judgment that you may just have a precursor to doing. So many of us think that we need to validate our actions, that we have to earn our breaks and things like this. But the point of having a mindful moment is to not do that. It's to not judge. It's to not look back and react to it. It's to understand and see it. See it as it is. See it as it should be. See it as it truly is happening. And then any actions that come from that are done so with true reflection and understanding. And it's very difficult to do this. It's something that you need to practice a lot over time. But a mindful practice, however you do it and however you action it throughout the days, throughout the weeks, throughout the months, throughout the years that you have going forward, will help you in so many different facets of your life. The main thing that you need to remember is that your form of mindfulness, your form of mindful practice is going to be unique to you. Taking stock, taking an ideal of what is happening to you in a moment can be done in so many different ways. Some people will, as I say, use yoga, use meditation. Some people will use their gardening, use running. A lot of people, you'll hear so often people say about thinking things through and understanding a problem when they're running. This can be very helpful for some people. For some people, it is genuinely a type of work that just takes them into a moment that they can see things. For some people, it's simply having a cup of coffee and watching their programs on TV. But it is specific to you. Mindfulness, meditation, all these actions, all these kind of seen at one point as new age ideals are not there for profit. They are not there for somebody else to dictate to you how you do them. It is for you to understand and reflect on them. That is the whole point of your mindful journey. Your mindful journey is yours. There's so many ways you can do it. You can even do it by the way that you are eating. To take some kind of food, it's called mindful eating, as you may be surprised, but to take some food and to enjoy and to indulge in that one piece of food in every way you can. Its smell, its taste, its texture, the look of it, everything. And to strip down that moment for itself, you living in that moment and understanding it can elevate your enjoyment and the indulging nature of that action itself and just bring you extra joy, because sometimes that's all mindfulness has to do and needs to do for you to continue through the day. I hope you've taken something from that. Some of you are probably thinking, well, now I don't even understand what I'm doing more with mindfulness, and there is so much more with it. But again, the main thing is to seek out your own form of mindfulness. But mindfulness is there for you to live in the present moment without reaction automatically and without judgment, and for you to truly take something from each moment of your day, to really sit in it, understand it, and move forward. I hope you've taken something from that, and you'll take something, I am sure, from many more of these friendly fires that are yet to come, and of course for Lobau's main podcasts as well. So take something from this today, maybe have a mindful moment that you may need, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the next friendly fire.